Hey everybody, this is Nathan Y now here for segment number 2 of my birthday special for 2025. And this time we're going to be doing some good old Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And judging by the date of when this video is coming out, this may very well actually be like one of the very last times I actually do this game as part of like one of my specials. But either way, it should definitely be a good time. And with me, I've once again got the Weekend Gamers group of Daniel, Luke, and Dominic.
Hello, folks. Hello, folks again. In case my voice didn't go through.
Yeah, but either way, there should definitely be a lot of fun for sure. Let's see. I'll start out with.
Although this could be clear towards everybody, not just you guys, but towards everybody that is watching this. I'm basically playing this on handheld mode due to it being 9:22 p.m. Central Time as of the time of us recording this, as of the time of us starting this right now. So because of that fact, I'll be playing on handheld mode, so that way I don't risk waking up my neighbors.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Like I said, I definitely won't try to be too loud in this video, but we'll see what happens. Either way, though, let's get going. This should definitely be a lot of fun. My first pick, I'll make, you know what? Let's do Chocolate Mountain. I feel like I've not done that course in a while.
Well, I hope it chooses it because that'd be perfect for. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, because you know, especially if Nick likes chocolate, that makes even more sense.
Yeah, I do love chocolate.
But the only people that doesn't really like chocolate, well, at least that I know of, anyways, are lactose intolerant. But otherwise, I believe everybody. I don't know about everybody, but a lot of people like chocolate. I mean, you know, yeah, especially ladies. But with that aside, yeah, chocolate's good.
Yeah, chocolate definitely has always been like one of my favorite things.
But then again, I do like a lot of candy, so there's
Fun fact, by the way, Chocolate Nuts is not only probably my my all-time favorite second favorite episode of SpongeBob, but it actually aired on my second birthday in 2002. Just want to set that straight. That Awesome SpongeBob episode actually came out on my second birthday.
Chocolate. Yeah, you can't go wrong with chocolate. It's just that good.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, come on. That bomb should have hit Daniel, and Daniel knows it.
That's what we call bullshit.
I will say right here that I have different kinds of chocolate myself. Like, for example, I do know I've had Kit Kats a lot of times in my life, and I've had Hershey's a good amount of times as well. There are definitely some good chocolate bars that I have throughout my life.
Nice.
Here's the thing, why do they call it Kit Kats when they have nothing to do with cats?
I don't know. I guess it's just their brand name for whatever reason. I don't really know the story behind Kit Kat.
Well, I don't know either, but I do like. But all kidding aside, though, I do like Kit Kats as well. I wouldn't say they're my favorite candy or anything. That honor would have to, or at least one of my favorite candies. I mean, that honor would have to go to Skittles.
Oh, Skittles are a very good candy. I really like having those as well. And same thing with M&M's.
Yeah, Skittles are awesome.
Yeah, I do like it. Also, that was a very nice computer for, no, never mind, I lied. That wasn't very nice of you, Daniel.
Oh my god, it's literally neck and neck right here.
Aha, Dominic got a freaking defensive item at the last second. Unbelievable. Well, GG.
GG's.
I'll start from third. It's not a bad start for me.
Yep, I'll gladly take second. Especially because I've been doing a lot worse than a lot of these Mario Kart sessions as of late, so starting off in second is more than fine with me.
Speaking of jokes, why is it called candy when candy doesn't come in the form of cans?
Right.
Okay. I'll do the best I can to not joke around too much during this video, but it's just a thing I've been doing a lot towards Daniel, especially AK-99, especially.
No, you're fine. As long as it's funny, that's all I
Well,
really care about. As long as it's funny, and as long as it's like, you know, as long as it's not like too far off like the spirit of the video, we're good to go.
I like how it got interpreted in sentence, but I do, but I'm just saying that I do need to calm it down on them jokes, because, you know, like, I don't know, I do love me to making jokes, but, you know, eventually, one of these days, it's gonna get old, and or it's gonna get to the point where the viewers are like, oh, they can connect us out with the jokes, or whatever, basically, to the point where people get annoyed. But yeah, it's just a thing I've been doing a lot towards the evening, very nice, especially when we watch videos together, or streams together, and, you know, and I just find it, pretty fun. And also, whoever threw that bomb on, nice try.
That was me, god dang it. But yeah, as long as he's fine with it though, that's really what matters. Like, obviously if Daniel ever does get annoyed with it, I'm sure he'll tell you, but I'm sure if he hasn't, there's nothing really wrong as of now.
At the very least, let's say, I can't blame Dominic for what he's been doing here in terms of the jokes, depending on what we do talk about, because from what I realized right here, on some of the things that we have brought up right here, it kind of finds some of the lovers involved in some of the words, and he just kind of brings it up as a joke that way.
Yeah, I've been doing that stuff since probably, I don't know the early days of Daniel, AK-99's friendship, but I do know either way that I've been doing it for quite a while, but, you know, with that being said, though, I am looking forward to, you know, the Switch 2 launch, even though I'm not able to get it at said launch, unless I get lucky. But, and I really am hoping the Switch 2 sells well, and that it doesn't get a repeat of the Wii U situation, because the Switch 2, compared to the Wii U, I mean, sure, it does look like an ordinary Switch, but if Sony can name their systems like PS1, PS2, and all that stuff, then why can't Nintendo?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think it'll become a Wii U situation because, like I said, you know, at least with the Switch 2, it's clearly defined what it is. Anyway, good job, Luke. And also, how the heck did a CPU get second?
As well as with the Switch 2 here, basically, people will think, oh hey, it's a sequel to the Switch. Not like with the Wii U, where people were thinking it was an add-on to the Wii, hence why it failed. And also, part of it didn't really help the commercials, too.
Yep, that is all very true.
I mean, personally, one of the few commercials I liked on the Wii U ads was Smash 4, where it was, "Are you ready to settle it in Smash?" You know, that kind of, you know. Well, that is one of the few trailers I kind of liked, and I guess Super Mario 3D World, but that's just barely.
Yeah, I mean, the Wii U definitely, like I said, it definitely had its good moments, and I personally always loved the console, but like I said in my last video, I can also definitely understand why it failed too. It really did just, you know, kind of have like everything bad that could have possibly went for it, should have kind of fallen in its place. I think it really was like a victim of like bad marketing and also bad timing in a lot of ways.
And even when the ads were saying it was an actual new console, it was already done too little too late.
Yeah.
I shoot it, Luke, that's not nice.
But honestly, you know, I may actually consider doing a video one day about the Wii U and how it failed, because honestly, I think it is an interesting topic of discussion. I might like save like that, and like maybe like even like failed console in general for like one of my future podcast episodes, not to show you or anything like that. But I might seriously do that because I mean, I definitely do think it is a fascinating topic.
Well, I gotta give the Wii U credit, even though it's not gonna be a high bar to make. I know. But at least the Wii U is better than the Virtual Boy, because at least it had more color than just black and red.
Oh yeah, it's not even close. The Wii U just kicks the shit out of the Virtual Boy.
And I get what they were going for the Virtual Boy, because they were trying to do virtual reality before virtual reality became mainstream. But yeah, based on what I've seen of it, it's funny because what I've seen of it, the games that launched for the Virtual Boy were the only games released for the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, pretty much. It just wasn't a good concept, and you know, I feel like you know, it was just the wrong product. Also, came to being like the wrong product at the wrong time, and also you know, didn't really have like any standout games. Like you know, it didn't really have bad games, but it also didn't really have games that like you know, made it like stand out in any way either.
Seriously, this is like the second, third time the lineup will hit us during this race.
Yeah, like what's up with that nonsense?
Whatever number of times that was right there for the lightning, it's still not cool either way.
Also, GG, Daniel.
Well, that's what I call
bullshit.
But also, good job, Daniel, winning that race.
Plot twist. Daniel Daniel said thank you very much in case it didn't go through, but plot twist. Daniel hacked the game again. Where he got max acceleration and max handling and max drip to the point where he makes no mistakes, and that's how he won.
Yep, you figured it out, Dominic. You figured it out.
Yeah, it's funny out there that Dominic likes to joke around with. Because even though he is saying that, I clearly do not hack at all. It's just law.
Well, I'll get an aside though. It reminds me of Crash Team Racing. The original one, not on the I don't think it's Dickinson Nitro Field. When we're in the original Crash Team Racing, where not only does Nitrous Oxide have maximum stats, even though it is possible to beat him, but he literally cheats. Because he literally accelerates before the go starts.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. To those who are into Crash Bandicoot, that's actually true. Nitrous Oxide literally cheats.
Yeah, it really is not fair for how that is.
Yeah, it really
how is it fair? How is it fair to accelerate before the timer, before the green light goes off?
Yeah, it doesn't.
That doesn't really serve it to that bottom.
It's kind of
bullshit.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, but despite my love for Crash Bandicoot, ever since I got into Spyro, the Spyro Ignite shows you last year, I ended up liking Spyro more than I do with Crash, and I didn't even grow up with Spyro. I grew up more with Crash than I did with Spyro. Because really, my only knowledge of Spyro, you know, at least in terms of playing the games wise, were the demos via the Crash Bandicoot discs, and you know where it came with free. With the free Spyro demo inside, via a code, but you know, and so you know, I didn't think I would like Spyro as much as I do now, but yeah, I do like a Spyro more than I do with Crash, so there's that.
And for what they have shown us on the details for the Nintendo Switch 2, I'll tell you what, that it really looks like it's going to be a great hit right there. And it definitely has some nice improvements over the original, so I can imagine that it would sell very well.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo, from what I saw, is already projecting like 15 million Switch 2s to be sold. That's pretty great.
Well, it better sell well. Because if it doesn't sell well, then Nintendo's gonna have to think long and hard of what their next system's gonna be, to make their next system sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at the very least hoping that the Switch 2 does have a much better success over the regular Switch compared to how the Wii U was over the original Wii.
Well, I don't think the Switch 2...
Right, but looks like I won in first place overall somehow.
Well, GG, Dominic, and yes, you did. That's not really bragging. That's kind of just the truth. But either way, GG. Anyway, what I was going to say...
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that part was clear. Because I know in the case of Daniel, he learned about bragging that one time when he was playing with his parents on Just Dance or whatever. And that's how he learned his... And that's when he learned all about bragging. As well as me telling him that, hey Daniel, you need to brag about that, because I remember, I don't know if it was like a very early on in our friendship, I don't think it was, but where there were some instances out there where Daniel, where he would act like he's bragging about something, he would constantly like, oh yeah, I did this, I don't know, but that being said, bragging, it's okay to brag once in a great while, but, bragging constantly to the point where it's like, oh, yeah, I won, like every 5 seconds, that just gets out of control.
Yep, but I was going to say really quickly, though, and you guys can talk about afterwards, but I was going to say really quick in regards to what you just said, that, Daniel, I definitely don't think the Switch 2 will be as successful as the original Switch, just because, well, for one thing, the price of the console, plus the market's changed, but also because, things have kind of changed in the market since then. I feel like, when the Switch came out, it didn't really have much competition in terms of, the handheld market and stuff, whereas now the Switch 2 kind of does, so I don't think it'll sell quite as well as the Switch 1 did, but I still think it'll sell really well. I still think it'll probably do maybe, comparable to, maybe the original Wii in sales. But anyway, what were you guys going to say?
Well, nothing. I'm just saying that I hope it sells well, and also friendship items. Okay, then.
Yeah, decided to maybe go with a different rule set this time. I know, like I said, you guys aren't really too fond of a 200cc, so I figured, kind of try to switch things up a little bit, just to kind of make, give a little bit of variety to this video, I guess.
Well, hey, as long as it's not like that one time where Mark, or aka Mark Leota, literally did nothing but blue shells all game.
Yeah, doing something like that is very chaotic, and I wanted to agree with you, Nick, that the Switch 2 may not be as successful as the Switch 1 because of the high price. But I could still imagine it could sell a nice amount of units though.
Yep, like I said, I still think it'll probably sell maybe around 100 million like the original Wii did.
Well, and as long as the freaking scalpers don't do anything. But then again, I don't know why I'm saying that, because I already know for 99% sure fact that the scalpers are gonna, do what they always do when it comes to this kind of stuff.
But yeah, the bragging thing that Dominic was talking about earlier, it is a true story right here. But yeah, for what Dominic was saying about that earlier, yeah, there came a time when I was actually playing one certain Just Dance game with my parents, and I was just winning a lot right here, and they were just kind of getting a little bit annoyed where I just kept on mentioning with me winning. So ever since then, I've learned a lesson right there about the bragging right here. It may be okay to do that every once in a while, but yeah, I can definitely see a point of why it's not very all that good to do that constantly. But yeah,
sure.
I am one of those I am one of those people out there that really does love Just Dance. I know several of my friends out there don't really care too much for that series, but I personally really do like it overall. It's because of the fact right here that there's tons of songs in those games that I really do enjoy listening to.
Do respect your opinion, Daniel. For those who doesn't know me, I do know, that basically the last Just Dance game I remember my mom getting was Just Dance 3. But then I believe my stepsister bought, or rented, Just Dance 4, I believe it was on Xbox 360 Connect. So I pretty much lost interest in the series after Just Dance 3 or Just Dance 4. You know, I mean, you know, it's not to say it's a bad series, far from it, but you know, like I said, I lost interest in the series after somewhere after one of those two came out.
I've never really cared for the Just Dance games, but I do agree with you overall. Like, in terms of bragging, you know, I say really as long as you keep it to a minimum, that's like really the main thing. Like, it's fun every now and again to just kind of celebrate your win a little bit and be like, you know, hey, I'm happy I accomplished this, but just don't be like flaunting all the time. Just don't be like, hey, like, yeah, I win again. Like, it's like, yeah, I win again. It's like, just don't be flaunting that constantly because, yeah, after a while that definitely can get annoying.
Yeah, it all just like depends on the kind of competition you're going up against.
Yeah, like I said, there's always a fine line between being proud of what you've accomplished and just flat out bragging. I feel like that's kind of the main point I'm trying to make here is, you know, just always try to maintain that nice, healthy balance.
Well, then again, there's someone like me. Then again, there are people like me, and I literally mean me, who basically brags about the Persona franchise, which, you know, because the Persona franchise means a lot to me, so I can't really help but say how much I love the series. But yeah, I'm just saying, it's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of that. Where I constantly bring that up, but you know, I can't really help it. It's just I've been into the franchise since May 2020, and you know, I've been a fan of this franchise ever since.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a different thing though, but yeah, I definitely do see what you mean by that.
I mean, I get it. I get it's a different thing, but you know, but I just thought I would add it in since it's part of the conversation about constantly bringing it up about stuff.
Yep.
For the Just Dance series overall, for right now, I do currently own every single one of the mainline games in the series. And the time when I was actually first interested in Just Dance was somewhere around the 2014 days. When that first became a thing, I just wasn't totally interested, but one of my brothers out there really did enjoy playing that in the first few years when that first happened. But like around 2014, when I said, or I heard from before, that's when I actually became a fan of the series in general.
That's nice.
And like I said, I respect your opinion, Daniel. But it's just, to me, it's just like I said from before, I'm going to say it again. I lost interest in the series, then like I said, sometime after, like I said, sometime, you know, after Just Dance 3 or Just Dance 4, you know, or whatever it was, because I remember, like, you know, I don't know, Just Dance, it does some good songs on there, like Party Rock Anthem as one example, but, you know, it's just, you know, Just Dance kind of reminds me of a Call of Duty in a way, where they basically have to release a game every year, and then, you know, and then it gets stale. Granted, you could say the same thing about Pokemon, but Pokemon. I think I'm much of a Pokemon fan, but I do see more of the appeal to Pokemon compared to, you know, Just Dance and Call of Duty. But that's just me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I do agree. Party Rock Anthem it's such a good song on Just Dance 3. It's definitely one of my personal favorites to play from that particular game. And definitely one song for sure that I also really do like playing on there. It's actually my only DLC song that I have on that game called Just Mario.
Alright, well, once again I get third place. Hopefully I can get at least one win in this video, but like I said, we still got about an hour to race, so there's definitely plenty of time for that. GG though.
GG. Also, Daisy having 24 points. Hey, Peach, what? I thought something better than Daisy having 24 points. Was it? It's almost my hands. Speaking of SpongeBob, I don't mean to promote channels or anything, but I would highly recommend to those who haven't checked it out yet, Principal Reacts or High School Principal Reacts, whatever his username is called. I would highly recommend checking for people to check him out because not only does he do like SpongeBob reactions, but he does other reactions too, like iCarly, and I do love his reactions, especially the SpongeBob ones. I mean, I'm having a feeling I brought it up in the last segment. Whether I did or not, I just can't really help it, you know. I believe the first video I watched from him was the new Sid and Starfish episode, and the reason why I subscribed to him was because I like the facts that he was bringing up about what he does in his school and stuff, and since then I was interested in his channel.
Yeah, he does have some good stuff, that guy. School Principal Reacts is definitely a good channel.
And for the Just Mario song that I was talking about, Just Dance 3, yeah, that is actually a real thing right here. It was really, really cool for Ubisoft and Nintendo to do a collaboration and feature a song that has Mario in there. And since they were able to do it, I could not pass up the opportunity here to get that song right here. All because of that, it's certainly an enjoyable one to play on there for sure.
Unfortunately though, I don't think I knew how DLC worked at the time. Since I guess I was pretty much stupid. I was stupid, but you know, I guess I just didn't understand how it worked. So I never really downloaded it. But with that being said, let's just say I did know how DLC worked. Even if I didn't know how that stuff worked, well, guess what? I don't think I've ever seen any Wii Shop points at all. In my area at the time when Wii Shop points were still available to purchase. So back then, I thought that you had to use a credit card exclusively.
I don't know how many of you guys out there are also in the Just Dance like me, but keep this in mind, folks, that ever since around the beginning of 2019, the Wii Shop channel has been closed down right here. Yeah, I do own the Wii version of Just Dance 3, and yeah, and all because of the Wii Shop channel being closed, you can no longer get any new downloadable stuff on there. That includes the Virtual Console games, the WiiWare games as well, and also downloadable content and some certain games as well. Because basically they all cost Wii points to get.
Although kind of like here, I know Nick doesn't relate to Mega Man all that much. But it reminds me of Mega Man 9 and 10, where even though I never got them on the virtual console for the same reason in WiiWare, in the case of Mega Man 9 and 10, they had DLCs at the time on there. Specifically in the case of Mega Man 9, I believe Photo Man was a DLC character, and in Mega Man 10's case, Base is a DLC character, and among other DLC related things.
I probably would have won this race if not for that stupid green shell, but still GG, Daniel.
Also, I like how Daniel and I are tied.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
kind of
it's
funny.
pretty. And it really did help in my favor right here. That the way I won that race was the help of my 3 mushrooms that I had.
Yeah.
Seriously, can I get Hyrule Circuit to play just once? Like, come on now.
Come on, let's go to Paris.
Rugrats goes to Paris.
Even though it's a shame that you can no longer get anything new with the Wii points from the Wii Shop channel anymore these days, I'm really glad I was able to get the Just Mario Sonic Just Dance 3 either way, because I could simply enjoy it forever.
Yep, that is really nice for sure.
Rugrats goes to Paris, the movie. You know, all kidding aside, though, I do consider myself a Rugrats fan. It's been there since probably the early 2000s. I know back in the day that before SpongeBob even came out, Rugrats was pretty much milked. Like I said before, SpongeBob even came out, and then SpongeBob got milked.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you're not gonna believe this, guys, but I saw that there is actually a new Nickelodeon show that's literally premiering on my birthday, believe it or not. And that show that I am talking about is called Wild Pack.
Nice. Well, that'll be nice for you.
With that being said, though, this does remind me, though, since I did get the Sound Movie 3, I was still able to finish on all the movies, and in case on movie 3, it didn't even skip once, which was nice. Basically, the Sound Movie 3 is still my all-time favorite of the Sonic movies, and I would recommend for anyone to check it out, not just Sonic fans, but towards just anyone in general. I just think that the Sonic Movie 3 is just that good.
Yeah, Sonic Movie 3 was amazing. I love the Sonic Movie 3 a lot.
I'm not going to spoil anything because Daniel's here, but I will say either way, though, that basically, I think the people who hasn't watched it either, stick around for the entire credits, because there are 2 credits scenes compared to Sonic movies 1 and 2.
I would say for the Sonic movies in general, I definitely have to point this out right here that every single one of them definitely does look better every time a new one does come out.
I mean, yeah, that is very true too. Granted, I would kind of hope that'd be the case, considering obviously, technology keeps advancing, but it is still very nice regardless.
Because I remember back when the Sonic movie 1, of the trailer, seriously, stop with the bomb on David destroying it. Where I thought the original movie was going to be painfully average at worst.
It's kind of funny how just this one race bumped me all the way into second, but GG.
And I like how I got sort of mid-sentence, but basically, back then, I thought the Sonic movie 1. Also Luke won, so GG on that, but, thank you. But basically, yeah, no problem, Luke, but yeah. Sorry, no problem, Luke. But yeah, back then, I was having a feeling that the Sonic movie 1 was gonna be painfully mediocre, whatever it is you guys want to call it. But after seeing the movie, I really enjoyed it, but then again, to be fair, at the time when I thought it was going to be painfully mediocre, that was before the redesign came in. And after watching the movie, back when it first came out, yeah, I still would have liked the movie, even if the original design for Sonic was still there. But it would have been harder to watch, because of said because of said original design. And thankfully, the people over at Paramount listened to the fans and basically redesigned Sonic. Hence why they had to delay it until Valentine's Day of 2020, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, but I am glad they actually fixed the movie and made it turn out really good for sure. And also, I did decide to bump the computer play difficulty to hard this time just to kind of try it out. We'll see how well we can do with this.
Well, that's okay, Nick, because typically when I play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with Daniel and Luke, which isn't very often, but whenever I do, I typically, put the CPU players on hard.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
I also am very glad, too, that they changed the design for Sonic in the original Sonic movie, because the change with that certainly looks a whole lot better compared to how it is originally. And I remember way back when, with the original design, this became an internet meme, where the fans of Sonic basically redesigned Sonic, because of how horrible the original design was. And let me say this as well, that for Paramount, that movie company has really come a long way. They've been around for over 100 years, and they really have made a lot of great successful movies ever since that first became a thing.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with you there, Daniel.
And basically, especially the whole point as to why Paramount, basically, you can see shows like SpongeBob on Paramount, because nowadays Paramount owns Nickelodeon nowadays.
Yeah, and plus, I really like the cool openings from Paramount whenever they do make a movie, ever since around the time when they have their 75th anniversary.
Yeah, Paramount, I do agree. Paramount has some really nice openings. I've seen a lot of them.
And the one that they have been using right now, ever since their 100th anniversary, is really, really cool to see, especially with the music that they have in there.
Stupid fucking banana. Call
bullshit.
Well, I do have both Paramount Plus and Disney Plus, but although in the case of Paramount Plus, I mainly got it due to SpongeBob, but being on there, but
I was just getting Mario Kart left and right that race.
But hey, the cool thing. The cool thing, but now that Disney Plus as well, I sometime after I finish, sometime once I get to reading Driver Be Kid the Long Haul, along with finishing that one, doing Sons of Cabin Fever, as we speak on that book, version, what do you guys want to call it? I will finally get to see how bad Diary of the Kid the Long Haul is, the movie version, because I heard a lot of bad things about that movie, mainly due to the different cast members.
Yeah. It's a little bit insane right here that Paramount has been around for over 100 years. I'm really glad that movie company is still becoming a great hit to this day.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely am glad to see their continued success.
Yeah, Disney, on the other hand, I'm wondering what the day that Disney just shuts down. Because seriously, all they really do nowadays is just remake after remake of live action stuff, and I don't know why people are buying that shit. Because based on what I've seen of the live action stuff, they look really, really bad, especially the Lion King. And that's why one of these days I'm waiting for the day that Disney ends up dying. You know, so that way we don't have to see their stupid remakes ever again.
Yeah, same here.
That's because I really miss it when Disney used to be all original and creative and all that good stuff. But nowadays they just do remake after remake after remake after remake, and they just don't stop. I believe the latest one they did was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which, surprise, surprise, I heard that one is bad too, especially because of the dwarves. They didn't bother using midgets or whatever, you know, to play as you know, the dwarves. No, instead of using midgets to play as the dwarves, they're basically animated. They basically animated. They basically animated them.
Yeah, I've heard the Snow White remake is really bad, and I have no plan on seeing it whatsoever. It even just looks terrible, honestly, from like the little trailers and stuff. So, not gonna waste my time and money on that movie.
I mean, now it's not still gonna ruin it. I forgot the name, but I remember the last name is something Dom or whatever. Seriously, is that what they're gonna ruin next?
Well, hopefully not.
Knowing Disney, they're gonna ruin it because of course they will.
Also, I just gotta say, I finally won a race. Thank goodness. It's my birthday special, and it took me like what is this, 9 or 10 races to actually win? Still though, thank goodness.
Yeah, I believe that was 10 races that it took you to win one, Nick, but good job.
Thank you. Yeah, it was 10 races because obviously we did the first two sets were 4 races each, and that was the second race of this set. But yeah, thank you very much, Daniel.
Yeah, no problem. And regardless of what you're saying right here, it's just insane that Disney has really been doing remakes as of lately, and people are expecting something completely new from the company right here, and there's something out here that people are obviously going to want to care for.
Yep. Also, what happened to you, Dominic? Well, I don't see you in here.
Well, that's because I'll still be in the video, but basically I'm done racing for tonight. But with that being said, I just thought of something that Disney, I am pretty sure they'll ruin. Which, if Disney ends up watching this and gets ideas, well, come on, why you listen to me? Because I already have an idea of what they could ruin. One of my favorite movies of all time. One of my all-time movies of all time, the original Wreck-It Ralph. But then again, I say that yet Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet. That sequel basically ruined everything. I mean, I'm gonna do the best I can here to not make it into a big rant. But let me just flat out say that when I hate Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, I literally mean it. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Like, I mean, when I first watched it, when I was first watching it, I'm like, okay, then I'm not really liking this. But then when they did the stupid ending, that really ticked me off. Like they were trying to make it emotional and all that, but no, I wasn't emotional. I was mad because basically, for those who knows the ending of Wreck-It Ralph, the original one. Not the ending. Well, close to the ending. Basically, or maybe it was in the middle. I don't remember. Either way, regardless of such, basically in the movie, they basically said that basically going to a different game and staying there is basically going turbo. So, and that's what Turbo did. Look at it was used originally in some other game. Don't say what game it is. I really don't care. In terms of that name wise. So, so then he went to Sugar Rush instead. And so obviously, so we learned that going turbo in a video game is bad. And what does Vanellope do? She decides to go to some other racing game, which don't bring me on in the comments or anything like that, guys. Like I said, I really don't care. So basically, so what does Vanellope do? She goes to some other game, and instead of doing this thing to where during work hours, she stays in Sugar Rush, and then when the arcade is closed, she goes in the other game to race. Yeah, you think that, right? Like, no, it's not that way at all, no. Instead, they try to get all emotional and everything to where Vanellope stays in that one game, even though she's the princess of Sugar Rush. And that is the whole point as to why, whenever they do a third movie, I have an idea of how that movie could go in terms of the beginning plot. So basically, what happens in said movie is Wreck-It Ralph 3 is, I guess Ralph is checking up on Sugar Rush because I guess he decides to for some whatever reason. And so then what happens is one of the people is about to play as Vanellope, but then she doesn't see Vanellope in the choose your character selection screen. Whatever you guys want to call it. So then, so Mr. Whitback, or whatever his name is, and goes around, thinking that the game is glitching out, and that basically he's giving the game at least a week to hopefully fix the quote-unquote glitch in there, and so it is up to Ralph to figure out a way for Vanellope to go back to her game before Sugar Rush, aka Vanellope's game. So it's up to Ralph to convince Vanellope to go back into Sugar Rush, aka her game, before her game gets unplugged for good. And I'm sorry for the rant. I'm sorry, but that's what I would do for Wreck-It Ralph 3. And two, that's how much I hate Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph Breaks the Internet sequel, considering how much I love the original Wreck-It Ralph, and Ralph Breaks the Internet ruins it.
Hey, you're fine, Dominic. Honestly, I pretty much agree with everything you said. In fact, funnily enough, Dominic, not only do I hate Wreck-It Ralph 2, but a lot of the very same points you just brought up, Dominic, are actually the very same things I was planning to say as well. So, yeah, like I said, I definitely do feel like Wreck-It Ralph 2 really did ruin a lot of things from the first movie in a lot of ways. Like, they really just fucked up, a lot of things in Wreck-It Ralph 2, and I hate that movie.
And did you see, Nick, that in the middle of the first lap, how it hit you there with the green shot after it bounced off the wall many times?
Yes, I did see that, Daniel.
And believe me, I have told this story so many times towards Daniel, because like I know I bring that up constantly towards Daniel and all, but just like I said, that's how much I hate Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, and and that's how much the original Wreck-It Ralph means so much to me. And I don't love it just because it's about video games. Take a video game aspect, and I still would love it. I really like the idea of Ralph. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter on the spoilers because, I guess it, because I guess it technically doesn't matter, but whatever. Basically, I love the idea that where Ralph, he basically wants to get a medal to prove himself, that he's a good guy or whatever, and so that's what Ralph does in the original movie, and I guess like the idea that basically Ralph basically learns that he doesn't even need a medal to prove that he's good, and et cetera, and and that's why I love the movie so much. If you take away all the video game references, including Sonic, that's the whole point as to why I wanted to watch the movie back then when I first heard about the movie. But yeah, take away the video game references, including Sonic, and I still love the movie. I just think the storyline is just that good. And that's the kind of Disney I really miss. Where they try out new things, and it's just, like I said, that's why I love Wreck-It Ralph so much. Right up there with Wall-E, it's just like I said, it's just that's how much the original Wreck-It Ralph movie means so much to me, and that's why I hate the sequel so much, because I was really invested in the storyline of the original Wreck-It Ralph, and let's just say that to those who haven't watched the original Wreck-It Ralph movie yet, please do so, especially since it's on Disney Plus as we speak, unless Disney decides to stupidly remove it for some whatever reason.
Yeah.
But please, but seriously, please, to those who are watching this and who has not watched the original Wreck-It Ralph movie, please do yourself a favor. Please watch it. You may or may not like it, but to me, I love the movie, and it means a lot to me. Just like with the Persona franchise, like I said from earlier.
Yep, and I also, but yeah, I agree. I love the original Wreck-It Ralph a lot. It's definitely so much better than the second one. Also, one thing I will quickly say about the second movie that I also didn't like as well, and this is not really to get too political or anything like that, because obviously, that's not really my channel is about, but there definitely were a couple parts of that movie where I kind of feel like they were kind of like pandering to like a certain demographic, and I'm sorry, that I don't really follow with that shit, not at all. But anyway,
I haven't seen this particular movie, but in a way, Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet reminds me of the Emoji Movie, in a sense. I haven't watched the Emoji Movie, like I said, but it reminds me of that in a way, because according to the criticisms I heard about Emoji, the Emoji Movie pretty much applies to Ralph Breaks the Internet, at least in terms of its references that they go for, because whatever references that Ralph Breaks the Internet, it was pretty much already outdated by the time the movie even came out.
Alright. This will be the only 200cc set we do in this video. But yeah, the original Wreck-It Ralph, I definitely would say is probably like one of my all-time favorite Disney movies, and honestly, it was probably like even like one of my favorite movies that when it came out in theaters. I mean, really just the idea of it, the fact that it was like really our first movie that was kind of like based like the story around like a video game, and even just the general plot and the atmosphere of the movie, it really was just so fun. And I feel like the sequel just kind of ruined a lot of that stuff, which was really a shame.
I mean, y'all can't forget about one of my favorite scenes, which I know it's Sonic related, but I do love this scene. And it's like, remember, stay safe and stay alert, or whatever you do, don't die, because if you die outside of your own game, you don't regenerate. Game over.
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember that. But yeah.
But it was funny because I don't know if that scene became a meme or not, but I remember liking that part, not just because it's Sonic related, but because because it's true, because it's true. Just think of it. Think of it like, I don't know, unless you believe in reincarnation or whatever, but basically, you don't really regenerate unless, like, so you believe in reincarnation, or basically, I just personally, think in my opinion, keyword thing, is that, basically, it's just an interesting concept where, say, basically, if you die inside of your own game, you will always regenerate, but if you die outside of your own game, like, let's just say, Sonic ends up dying at the Pac-Man game, then Sonic never regenerates and Sonic never comes back, and so I just thought that was an interesting scene, and that's why I thought that scene was pretty interesting back then.
Yeah, like I said, I pretty much would
Let me
agree.
say this, basically, for the original Wreck-It Ralph movie, there were so many things about it that did it very much right here. But Ralph Breaks the Internet, yeah, for what they were going for on that, it just didn't really make it as good of a movie compared to the original. Even when I first saw the ending to that kind of movie, that was just pretty emotional to me, the way they were going for.
Yeah, that's like I said before, I say it again. To me, it wasn't emotional. To me, it just took me off. But with that being said, I literally just looked this up, like literally just now. And I'm well aware that the movie, there's a Wreck-It movie. I know I'm well aware I can watch it whenever I want on Disney Plus, assuming I have internet. That's the keyword, assuming, because you know my internet could end up going down one of these days. So one of these days, I'll have to get the Blu-ray version or Blu-ray and DVD version, just so well, not just because I love the movie, but also because then I can basically keep the movie and basically I can watch it whenever I want without an internet connection. You know, it would just be nice for me to have. I don't know when I'm going to consider getting it, but I really do need to get it eventually.
Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, and also, guys, to those who are watching this, are like, oh, why is this turned to a Wreck-It Ralph conversation? Well, what can I say, guys? You know, I just love that movie. What can I say? You know, it's one of the favorite movies of all time. Right there with the Wreck-It, it's a big movie right there with Wally.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
guys, if you ever wanted the Nick Dean one and I guess for lack of a better phrase here, if you ever wanted like the Nick Dean one and community opinion on, I guess you could say for the Wreck-It Ralph series, well, here you go. Because like I said, you know, I pretty much do agree with a lot of what Dominic said in regards to the Wreck-It Ralph movies. I definitely think the first one's way better than the second one, and pretty much every single point Dominic just made about why. You know, Wreck-It Ralph 2 is so bad, or like the exact points I would have made too. But yeah, like I said, definitely know if you guys aren't interested in like a Wreck-It Ralph conversation or like either that or for whatever reason don't want to be spoiled for that movie if you haven't seen them. Although honestly, I don't think that's a big deal. I think those movies have been out for like years at this point. But either way, I guess what I'm trying to say here is that if you guys don't want to really hear all this, I guess I'll provide a timestamp in the video like when you can skip past this part. But either way, like I said, if you want to know that community opinion of Wreck-It Ralph, well, there you go. You just heard it.
And then, don't worry, I'm not going to say any spoilers about Toy Story 4. I'm going to keep this short compared to the Wreck-It Ralph conversation. But, compared to Toy Story 4, Toy Story 4 didn't really tick me off necessarily. I just thought it was like an average movie. But compared to the original trilogy, especially Toy Story 3, it just wasn't as good, especially since it contradicts Toy Story 3, but I'm not going to spoil anything, at least for this video. Maybe in the next multiplayer segment video, that's a big hero maybe, but all I'm going to say is, as of right now, for Toy Story as a whole, my favorite is Toy Story 3. But if you want more of my opinions about the Toy Story movies, well, if I can remember that is, then I'll have to do it in the next multiplayer segment of this because because I don't know how much time we're gonna have left, and it just makes more sense to bring up more about that stuff in the next multiplayer segment video.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm probably gonna go for maybe 20 more minutes here. I know that Mark did say he wanted to race, so I definitely do still want to give him a little bit of a chance to join, but at the same time, it is also getting pretty late at night, and I also don't want to, have to, obviously keep dragging this out longer than it needs to be. But either way, this still has been a very fun time for sure.
So let me get this straight, Nick. What you are thinking about is that after the set is over, or you're going to plan on doing one more?
Yeah, probably. Well,
I got the freaking hiccups, good lord.
Well, one more that's, I'll put it this way, one more set that's guaranteed, and then after that, like I said, it'll really depend on, number of factors. Like I said, mainly whether or not Mark is showing up by then.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how everything goes. But either way, though, I think it still sounds like a playout.
Yeah, definitely for sure. If Mark is not here, then yeah, the next step probably will be the last.
And speaking of movies, I'm not gonna spoil anything about this particular movie since it is basically technically new, but not really. If the movie is like a year, 2 years old, whatever, don't hold me on that, guys. But and I will say I like all three Sonic movies combined, like better. But then again, my opinion's kind of biased because I like Sonic more. But based on what I've seen of the Super Mario Bros. Movies, specifically the animated one, matter of as we speak, I'm thinking about doing the thing where I rewatch the Super Mario Bros. Animated movie, but it's just, I'm not going to really spoil anything, since again, it's technically a new movie, so I'll be nice in terms of that, but it's the reason as to why I like the Sonic movie and combined more with the Mario movie, Super Mario Bros. Animated movie, is because, well, sure, it had good references and stuff like that, for sure, definitely, and considering the animation company that basically does the Minions, because, yes, that's true, they are the same company, who does it, Illuminati Studios or whatever. But with that being said, reason that's why I really like, the Super Mario Bros. Animated movie as much compared to all three Sonic movies combined is not because I like Sonic more than Mario. Let me just say that right now, that my opinion could be rather biased here. But it's just my honest opinion. I don't know. I just thought that the scenes went by way too fast. Like one scene, they'll be doing this, but then the next scene, they're doing something else, and I don't know. I just thought it was going by way too fast. But that's my opinion. It's not a bad movie. Like I said, I am thinking about giving it a rewatch, but yeah, probably sometime tomorrow. That's the keyword, probably. But that's just my 2 cents for the Super Mario Bros. Animated movie.
Yeah, I feel like I've already kind of talked about my opinions on the Super Mario Brothers movie enough in my podcast episode, so I'm not gonna really say much here. But like I said, overall, I definitely do really like that movie. I thought it was great, but like I said, I definitely would not be surprised if it's like one of those movies where if you're not into Mario too much, you're probably not gonna really like it. Probably not gonna be like too crazy about it. But definitely, if you are a Mario fan like me, I think you can definitely appreciate it a lot for sure. Even if it definitely does have its flaws.
And speaking of movies, the funny thing is it's got confirmed. I believe on the Nintendo Today app, like I believe on either launch day or the one day before or whatever, but they're really doing a Zelda live action movie, which makes you wonder how they're gonna do it. Because I heard that Sony is apparently making a movie. I don't know how true it is, but they're making it. But assuming that's true, or regardless if it's true or not, it makes you wonder how the movie is gonna go, especially considering I do consider myself a Zelda fan, so, I guess the only time will tell when it does come out.
Yeah, I'm not that...
I heard about that, and I will say that I'm not necessarily the biggest Zelda fan of myself, but I'll still say this, it still sounds like a cool idea for what they are going with. But at the current moment right now, I'm only into Ocarina of Time in the whole Zelda series. But there is actually a chance that at some point soon that I could actually get into another mainline Zelda game, thanks to the fact right here that we are getting the GameCube application on the Switch, and
oh wow, I totally freaking bullied Luke there at the end.
And yeah, with the fact that Wind Waker is going to be one of the games on the GameCube application for the Switch 2, Dominic is definitely very excited for that from what he has told me, because he's been wanting something involved with the game that him and I can actually do together. And Wind Waker, from what Dominic has told me, is his favorite Zelda game.
Well, yeah, that's true right there, folks. Right up there with Zelda Skyward Sword, despite the fact that I haven't even beaten it yet. Which is pretty weird considering I have not been it, but yeah. With that being said, yeah, I do love Wind Waker, you know, I do love the sailing aspect, you know, it makes me feel like a pirate, you know, I don't know, it's just really good, and it's a good thing too, because the GameCube version is my preferred version, because the Wii U version overdid it with the bloom. Even though technically speaking, the Wii U version is technically better because of the quality of life improvements, which also includes the fast sail, I forgot what it was called. But either way, it's just sail where it allows you to go really, really fast, as well as change direction without even having to change the wind manually. So the GameCube version is not going to have that, obviously. But yeah, so either way, it's a win-win for me either way. At least in terms of the game overall-wise, not the online aspect.
Yeah.
Or just not just the online aspect. Whatever you guys want to call it in that case, because you know, like I said from earlier, you know, the GameCube version is my preferred version. So either way, it's a win-win.
Yep. And as far as the Zelda movie is concerned, like I said, you know, kind of like Daniel said, I'm not much of a big fan of the Zelda games either. I definitely have played a couple of them, and you know, they're pretty decent games, but not much something I'm really that into. But I think I will still go ahead and see the Zelda movie anyway, because you know, I do imagine it will probably be like really well written and designed, and honestly, you know, it does kind of seem like a really cool idea overall. So even though I'm not much of a Zelda fan, I might still go see that movie.
Also Nintendo, when are you guys gonna do this kind of movie? Because I became a fan of the series since last year, but Nintendo, when are you guys gonna give us a Kirby movie? Unless you want to count Kirby right to the finish. But, so unless you don't want to count that, where's our next Kirby movie? You know, I totally watch it. I mean, but yeah, otherwise if you want to include Fight to the Finish, then yeah, go for it, because that is technically a movie. But you know, I would love, you know, a Kirby movie, you know, not in the same style like Kirby right back at you. But you know, I would like a Kirby movie, you know, or heck, I mean, even though I'm not into this particular series, far from it, in fact. Otherwise, at that point, Nintendo may as well just give us a Metroid movie. I mean, but again, like I said, I'm not really interested in that series, but you know, you never know. Heck, if this ever comes out, I would definitely for sure want to watch it. But you know, a Super Smash Brothers movie, no, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, I would love a Smash movie. I would be all over that.
Yeah, and some of you guys don't know, Smash is my favorite gaming franchise to play, so if a Smash Bros. Movie does happen, I would definitely be down for that.
And Super Smash Bros. Brawl is what got me into the franchise, and it's what made me become a fan of the series. You know, I do love Smash, you know, it's the whole point. It's the whole point as to why way back when they first announced the trailer. Oh boy, you bet my butt I was so hyped up, like, and that's what inspired me to buy the original Switch back then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now, when it comes to the Zelda series in general, along with Ocarina of Time, I also do own Majora's Mask and Breath of the Wild. And for all those Zelda games out there that I do have, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask I have downloaded on my Wii Virtual Console. I only got those games because my little brother wanted me to get them right here. He was just totally interested right here, mainly with the Ocarina of Time to give it a shot. But after my little brother really loved playing Ocarina of Time himself, he then wanted me to get Majora's Mask as well right here. And Majora's Mask is it's just so hard to go through from what I have experienced out of that. I don't like that you are timed right here. And all because of that, I could just never really get into it.
Yeah.
Well, according to what I've heard about Daniel is apparently you can like freeze time and stuff like that, and you can also rewind time. But what's the point in rewinding time if it basically all the stuff you collected, it basically acts as if you didn't collect them to begin with? You know, Majora's Mask, it has its fans. Like, for example, I remember hearing that Q Meister, this one friend I used to be friends with, but don't really talk to anymore. I believe the last time I talked to him was back in 2018, but I digress. Basically what I remember hearing is that, you know, his favorite Zelda game is Majora's Mask, but he's still less like I said, Majora's Mask has its fans. But for me, I am definitely not one of those fans. Because, you know, it is like what Daniel said earlier, you are timed, and that's why I don't really like it all that much. Even though I haven't really played that much to begin with. And it's the whole point as to why Ocarina of Time, in my opinion, is way better overall. Because you can change. Because you can take it as long as you want, and you can still beat the game just fine, unless you're stuck on a puzzle. But otherwise, you can take your time, kind of like the Persona 5 loading screens. But I digress.
All right. Well, I'll say this. I have some very interesting opinions on both Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, and you know, not to get so shilly right now, but there might actually come a point in time when I might want to discuss those opinions for like a future podcast episode. So I'm not really going to say much in regards to that now, but I definitely will say that in regards to what you guys were saying about those games, you might kind of hear a bit of a contrasting opinion in those videos. But anyway, continuing on with what you guys were saying.
And it really sucks too right here that when you go back in time to the first day in Majora's Mask, you lose all of your ammo right here, which I do not like right here. And it's another reason why I could just never get into Majora's Mask. Even though I have it downloaded on my Wii Virtual Console, after my little brother asked me to get it right here. And for Breath of the Wild, by the way, I basically do have that on the Wii U. And basically why I do have that in my collection is that my little brother ended up getting it as a birthday present around the time when it first came out.
If it's one thing, I don't know about good, but or the people they would say it's good, but if it's one thing that came out of Majora's Mask, is that there was a creepypasta based around it, titled Ben Drowned, and basically, due to being a creepypasta, I wouldn't recommend giving it a read unless you don't mind creepy things. But yeah, someone actually made a creepypasta based on it, around it, like I said.
That's really neat. But yeah, that's pretty cool that your little brother did actually get the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild. It is kind of funny, honestly, that Breath of the Wild happened to be like both like the kickoff to the Switch and also the final goodbye to the Wii U.
I do in fact own the Wii U version, but because my Pro Controller's X button doesn't like to respond all the time, unless I press it really hard, I can't really play it all that much. But then again, even on the times when I was able to play it the proper and correct way, I was confused on what I was supposed to do, despite the fact that there were markers telling me where to go. But but based on when I played Breath of the Wild, it was a fun experience. I wouldn't really say it's my favorite Zelda game properly, in fact. To me, it's more like a rip-off of Skyrim, or if not that, Skyrim inspired, but based on what I heard of it anyways. And one thing I did like about the game is that you can tame any random horse you want, and that's what I like to do in the game. I just like to, just roam around all over Hyrule or whatever you guys want to call it, guys. And I just like the idea of, just roaming around and finding horses and trying to tame them and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like, as good as Breath of the Wild is, I don't actually own the game, but I have played it a little bit like other people's houses, and I definitely think it is fun. But I will say that as good as Breath of the Wild is, one problem that game has, and I think that's kind of a problem with a lot of games nowadays, is that, and I do kind of agree with like another person's point that I saw and somewhere else, was that I kind of do feel like the open world genre in general is kind of like overdone these days. I feel like there's like a lot of games these days that are like, trying to do like this big open world adventure, and while that does work for some games, it doesn't necessarily need to be for all of them. And I feel like, that's like the big problem with those with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, is that they're kind of like leaning too much into like stuff that we're already seeing in like another game genres. So as good as those games are, I do kind of feel like they're starting with like a lack of originality. But go ahead and say what you were going to say, Dominic.
Well, nothing really. I was just going to say that that's the whole point as to why that I basically heard, that Persona 6 may or may not be open world. And it's the whole point as to why that, even though I am a Persona fan, a big Persona fan, in fact, but it's why I'm really hoping that Persona 6 is not open world. I just want the typical calendar along with dungeon gameplay. That's how Persona games typically are, where there's a calendar system where you decide what you want to do on days, and then on other days you can also go to the main dungeon or palaces in Persona 5's case, or Persona 5 Royal, or Persona 5 Strikers if you gotta prefer jails, but I digress. And then that's the kind of gameplay that I want in Persona 6, the standard Persona gameplay that I know and love so much. So, I seriously am hoping that Persona 6 is not open world, because that would really break my heart. No pun intended either. On Persona 5's case, because, like I said, I just really I just want the calendar and dungeon gameplay that I know and love, like I said.
All right, and to end off this birthday special segment, we're going to be doing Rainbow Road, Mario Kart Wii Rainbow Road, so this should be a lot of fun. I always think this is always a good track to end off my Mario Kart videos with, and it's going to be a fun way, I think, to end this birthday special segment off with, too.
And I don't even know how I pulled off that win in the previous race, but that looked like Luke barely edged me out for the win, and the game still gave it to me.
Oh, wow, well, looks like you kind of benefited from some bullshit, Daniel.
Yeah, even if that was the case right here, that looked like I lost out on the win a little bit. I still got it. But for that kind of a finish right there that I just witnessed, you guys be the judge.
Well, unfortunately,
except for me, because I'm not even in the game, but still.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, though, I don't know if I really caught that, because I was a little bit far behind in third place, so I don't know if I actually caught that photo finish, but that still was interesting.
I'm basically saying that towards everyone, and they are able to see it well. But yeah, back when I first got Ocarina of Time, my Wii Virtual Console, my little brother did manage to play through that. Even myself, right here, I did manage to play through it as well. There was one point out there when my little brother was playing through it a second time, but he just kind of stopped for a while, all because he's he was just frustrated on the water temple. And let me tell you this, guys, that the water temple is absolutely annoying in Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it doesn't help right here that for what you gotta do in the water temple, you have to pause the game so many times to put the iron boots on and off.
Thankfully, the 3DS version fixed that issue.
Yeah, so that way you don't have to access those kinds of menus. I mean, it's a good improvement, but done originally, it doesn't really be exhausting to go back into the pause menus over and over again.
With that being said, though, guys, the Water Temple is my least favorite dungeon in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. But then again, my opinions are biased because I never really liked underwater levels all that much in video games, except for Mega Man, because it's the only gaming stage that I can think of that's on my head where they do underwater levels just fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be surprised at all if several people out there don't really like the water temple a lot as well.
Oh, I came so close to beating Daniel at the end there. Oh well, GG.
Gosh dang it, Daniel, you hacked again. I'm just kidding. GG's, even though it wasn't even there to play. At least for the last few sets. But but it's still GG's all the same.
And hey,
And even though you were close to beating me in that last race, Nick, on the bright side is that did manage to actually win a set overall.
yep. That is really awesome. So good job, Daniel. Yeah, I was actually just about to point that out, that I think we all managed to win at least one set this game, so that's also really good too. I'd say that definitely makes for a really good segment if I do say so myself, not to sound cheesy or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's literally incredible.
Alright, but yeah, I'd say that was honestly a really good segment. Had a lot of fun with this game for sure. Obviously, I definitely wish I could have gotten more people, but for what I did manage to get, it was a lot of fun for sure. And I hope you guys all really enjoyed this too. This, I say, was definitely a great segment to celebrate my birthday for sure. But anyway, that's gonna do it, guys, for this segment of my birthday special. But there's still a lot more games to play, so stay tuned, everybody.